total have died and several others have been injured in a clash that ensued between the youth and the police. We bring you a detailed conversation here on Good Afternoon Ghana. This program is streaming live on social media. So you can go to Metro TV Ghana on all social media platforms. Use the hashtag Good Afternoon Ghana. You can also send messages through the WhatsApp number that will be displaying on your screen. Please do not call the number, just send the message. We'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Bonsoir, monsieur. Madame. Et voilà.
Ah, babe, what is this?
This is the escargot. And the foie gras. Oui.
Where did she go?
You pa one casa who say obase or pay eh?
It's been long since you ever felt like this.
Welcome to the best in Ghanaian entertainment on Aquaba Magic. Ifyenifi. Welcome home to Aquaba Magic on DSTV channel 150. It's your moment. DSTV.
Now in Ghana on Metro TV. Showing every Sunday evening. Prime time, 5 to 5:30 p.m. with a catch-up on Wednesdays, 4 to 4:30 p.m.
Kids always say what they wanna.
Metro TV. Insightful and inspiring moments.
So we'll kickstart with a report that recaps what has happened from a social media post by the man in question, Ibrahim Mohammed, who's passed on to events in the last, few hours. When we do that, we'll come back and then I'll introduce my guest, then we start our conversation.
Mahu Musa Hanu Tutu Intuition Ayama Ebu fa car quan so. Car quan since you bufa so and yet I say Yana Bay. In Tiama I say no Hana Tutu. Wow, I say Tutu. I swear you chromo, crumping people, and I'm some Mamma Panchremo. Now, Mom was it who suggested a bear. You been up for now. Motimaba boy say. I didn't yanko deep. I yanko children na
Ibrahim Kaka Mohammed, now deceased, was a 45-year-old social media activist believed to be a Fix the Country campaigner from Ejura in the Ejura-Sechi Dumasi constituency of the Ashanti region. Macho Kaka had been recording videos on wrongdoings and other issues in Ejura, posting them on social media with the hope that the menace will stop.
No man kitty, and I said, no, my Hunina, the Bachelor, because if you say a kit was in Yakita or Tina Yani, the Chiramono, there be a moon behunes and Mobu and with media boy. na maboa yɛ.
Throughout that, Kaka became popular in Ejura but received death threats from some people who were apparently not happy with his activism as they believed it was making the Akufo-Addo administration unpopular. According to the Ashanti Regional Police Public Relations Officer, Assistant Superintendent of Police Godwin Ahianyo, the suspect laid ambush in front of the house of the deceased and attacked him when he returned home on Sunday, June 27, 2021, at about 1:30 a.m. On the 28th of June, Kaka succumbed to his wounds. This sparked an initial protest where some residents, including the late Kaka's family, demanded justice.
I don't know how to express the way I feel. It is a very big blow to me. I can't just, words cannot express or explain how I feel. God. There is nothing, there is no better punishment than what God will give them. Even if I have to see him, whoever did that before me. The best punishment probably I had to give him was to take his life, just as he took my brother's life.
Two suspects, Ibrahim Isaka alias Anyas and Fuseini Al-Hassan, were subsequently arrested by the Ejura police in connection with the murder of Ibrahim Mohammed. On Tuesday, 29th June 2021, the situation degenerated. Scores of angry youth stormed the streets of Ejura to demand swift action from authorities for justice to be served. The protesters blocked the major road in the community and marched towards the police.
MP, Omokotakin or Cassan Quanta, our prison of a baby prison for or man Kashi, into the Sian Adris at Mamofono, the Trezomo Omudem, Etmukokuomo, this is our first at us, young first, second, third, the terror seconds and Tiasia, Yawan, the police on Yaniji Debia.
In the heat of the moment, the Joint Military Police Task Force fired gunshot towards the crowd, leading to the death of 2 persons and injuring 4 others. In an interview with the medical superintendent of the Ejura Government Hospital, Dr. Mensa Manye, he indicated that the first person was brought in dead, while the second person died few minutes after he was rushed to the hospital. Members of Parliament also took the floor of Parliament to demand a full-scale bipartisan probe into the death of the 2 protesters.
As I said, 2 died instantly. 1 died before arrival and 1 were resuscitated when he died. The other 4, they are also severely injured with their thigh bone fractured or the femur bone. Multiple fractures of the femur, that's the thigh bone. A lot of hematoma bleeding. So we are organizing blood and also resuscitating them with the infusions. Those on admission, 1 is not very stable now because his condition is not the best. That is it, you can see. It's not stable at all. It means it's entering into shock.
Security expert Adib Sani, following the incident, bemoaned how the security handled the protesters.
I thought that by now the police should have made some arrests. They should have detained, they should have reassured the people that they are committed to ensuring that whoever has a hand in the death of Mohammed Kaka would be brought to book. Unfortunately, that lackadaisical, indifferent attitude, as usual, was at play. That is what, because we saw this, some of us saw it coming. I mean, the letters and the releases flying all over on social media was a clear manifestation of the fact that something is amiss and action needs to be taken. Unfortunately, the Security Council within that area didn't do a very good job to add insult to injury. Instead of managing the situation in a much more diplomatic manner. The disproportional force was used, and now more people are dying, and it makes the situation rather dire.
The police addressed the press in the evening of Tuesday, revealing a military officer was also injured in the process.
The military was invited to come and support the police to patrol the community yesterday, so that the community will be safer and no criminal incidents are recorded. They arrived in town here at Ejura around 9 p.m. yesterday, while police SWAT and FPU teams were helping local police to arrest people whose names had come up as suspects in the murder of Kaka. So when the need for reinforcement arose today, our counterparts from the military were already around to support. As I said, the circumstances leading to the casualties are being investigated. We have all observed that the security situation now is calm. Security has been reinforced to ensure total stability. We therefore appeal to all to remain calm. Crime is crime and has no political color. So we assure you here and the good people of Ejura, the relatives of the deceased person, that whoever has been arrested and is found culpable will make sure that person faces the full rigors of the law.
Meanwhile, the opposition NDC has called for calm in the constituency and requested that the security be measured in the way and manner they handled citizens. The Progressive People's Party has also in no uncertain terms condemned the violent crackdown and asked for special investigations for those responsible to be brought to book.
So that's a comprehensive report bringing you up to speed on this matter in Ejura. Right now, we know that the former President John Mahama has touched on this, as well as President Akufo-Addo issuing an instruction to the Interior Minister. I want us to go to the video wall and first look at John Mahama's statement, former President John Mahama's statement on this, titled, Akufo-Addo must de-escalate situation in Ejura. I add my voice to calls for calm following the shooting to death of 2 persons and the injury to many in Ejura today, following the murder of youth activist Ibrahim Kaka Mohammed. I have just seen a video of the firing of live ammunition into a crowd by persons wearing military attire after the burial of the murdered youth activist. I urgently call on President Nana Akufo-Addo to initiate an immediate de-escalation of the situation in Ejura. There must be a very thorough investigation in both the murder of the youth activist and the security rules of engagement, which resulted in the shooting to death of the 2 others. My thoughts and prayers are with the families of the victims and Ejura community. So this is John Dramani Mahama. Yes, so let's turn our attention to the statement coming from the presidency, signed by Eugene Ahin, the acting director of communications, the director of communications at the office of the president. And it's titled, President Akufo-Addo instructs Interior Minister to undertake public inquiry into incidents in Ejura. The President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has instructed the Minister for the Interior, Honorable Ambrose Derry, MP, to conduct forthwith a public inquiry into the circumstances that led to the unfortunate occurrences of Tuesday, 29th June 2021. The Interior Minister is to provide a detailed report from the inquiry with recommendations for appropriate action within 10 days, i.e., by 9th July 2021, to President Akufo-Addo. The President is deeply saddened by the deaths of Ibrahim Mohammed alias Kaka, Abdul Nasir Yusuf and Mutala Mohammed. He extends sincere condolences to the families of the deceased and wishes the injured a speedy recovery. That this morning at the Meet the Press series that's organized by the Ministry of Information, the Minister, Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, spoke to it.
Suspected murder of Ibrahim Mohammed, popularly called Kaka, and the subsequent death of 2 others, coupled with the injury of at least 3 more persons during youth protests after his burial, are terribly, terribly unfortunate and condemnable. We commiserate with the victims, the families, the loved ones, and the people of Ejura. Our security agencies should be quick and clinical in getting to the bottom of this and other unresolved crimes. Now, while we understand that police investigations sometimes take a while, it does not instill confidence in the population if such acts go unresolved and unpunished quickly. So the police need to get to the bottom of this, and justice must be done. Also, a credible investigation needs to be conducted into the crowd routing and crowd control incident of the 29th of June. This is necessary to bring clarity to the sequence of events and to ensure that if any persons acted inappropriately, those persons are punished. We've also read and seen videos, I think this morning, from youth groups and family members who are admonishing politicians and other social groups who want to be opportunistic about this very sad incident to back off.
Let me bring you another update on this matter. The Director General of the Criminal Investigations Department of the Police Service, that's DCOP Ken Yeboah, is questioning claims that security officers in Ejura opened fire on the protesting crowd, leading to the death of 2 people.
In respect of the video, you see, these days people put certain videos on social media, sometimes which are even not related or did not happen in Ghana. Do you understand? I am not saying that in that particular case. And so we have a lot of videos which we have gone through. But I would appreciate it if you also give me yours so that we compare. You understand? To find out whether, because it's information. And so if you give it to us, we'll be able to look at it. And then, you see, sometimes when you shoot from far, it's difficult to capture the images well. You understand? So please, and then there were a lot of people there with weapons and other things. We are still investigating because we have to make sure that the shooting was done by a. Do you understand? So please, if you have anything, just.
Yes, so that's the Director General of the CID. Let me now introduce my guests to you for this conversation. Joining me in studio, I have Adib Sani. He's a security analyst. Good afternoon to you, and thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
We seem to be having unfortunate conversations every time we meet.
Very unfortunate, and it gives me sleepless nights because I keep, getting a lot of calls to talk about.
We also have Brownson Adachi. He's a convener of the Fix the Country campaign joining us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome in.
Thank
Unfortunately, here we are again.
Yeah, sure.
And we have on Zoom, or we'll be connecting on Zoom with the MP for Wa West. He's also a member of Parliament. That's the Defence and Interior Committee. We'll be speaking to Peter Lanchene Tobu. And then we'll connect also with Kweku Segbefia of Occupy Ghana. He's a member of Occupy Ghana, and Occupy Ghana released a statement which we'll be speaking to or talking about. And later, Alhaji Mohammed Bawa Brahma, he's the MP for the community in question, Ejura Sechidumase. We'll try and connect with him as well. I'll start with Adib Sani. When the video of the COP, the DG of CID, COP was going on, I saw reactions coming from both of you, and indeed you would hear in the audio people murmuring and even giggling when he tried to clarify. A reasonable clarification, it might not be necessary at this time, clarify that we need to interrogate the video. We didn't see who exactly shot who, which led to the death of the 2. Maybe throw light on your initial reaction. Tell us your reaction to what the DG said.
I mean, quite obviously, his conscious effort, so to speak, to deflect the blame and justify what has happened is something I find shocking. I'm pretty sure it sounded funny to himself. I mean, he himself, it sounded funny to him because what he was saying was neither here nor there. In security studies, managing a crisis is of the essence, okay? If you are not able to manage the crisis after it has happened, well, the aftermath could even be more catastrophic than the crisis itself. I would have thought that when something like this happens, you are supposed to come out not to justify, not to defend, but to reassure the people of your unflinching commitment to ensuring that the matter would be looked into elaborately. Justice would come to the families who so much desire, rather than with this, drama that is unfolding right before our eyes. Because mind you, Francisca, a lot of people are angry in that area. I have spoken to some people on the ground, and a lot of them are Zongos. So, we speak the Hausa and they go like, they are so angry. And I would expect that all efforts at the moment should be aimed towards managing the situation and easing the anger. But when you try to deflect, and it started yesterday in the evening, when the police issued a statement talking about irate, and they kept on repeating irate youth, making it look like it was a clash between two big forces. No. We are yet to see any evidence of anybody holding a gun on the other side. And mind
but there
you,
is a claim that they pelted, the youth pelted the police with stones.
Absolutely. There's no denying that fact. They blocked the roads. You cannot justify that. But it also doesn't justify such unwarranted and disproportional use of force. We have, approaches to dealing with crowds.
You're heading to it, and that's the question I want to, pardon my intrusion, that's the question I want you to tackle about crowd control. The criticism against the police or the security is that it's deadly force that is being used. The expectation to the lay mind is that if you're going in to control a crowd such as this, you wouldn't expect there to be live ammunition. What went wrong then?
By the way, first and foremost, it is the police that is usually in charge, of controlling crowds. But when they are overwhelmed, they invariably call on the military to complement, However, on this occasion, if you check the videos, it looked like the military rather took over from the police. And the police, by default, lost control of the situation. Fine. When you arrive at the protest scene, an attempt is first of all made to establish, you make an attempt to establish a communication with the leaders of the protesters, depending on a lot of circumstances at that point in time. If it doesn't work and you have no option but to use force, we have different types of force. You can use tear gas, you can use the water cannons, the batons, the shields. The use of live ammunition is the last resort. That is, if you are convinced beyond reasonable doubt based on solid analytical, empirical, situational assessment to the effect that the actions of these people poses an immediate existential threat to the lives of not just the officers, but other innocent people, then you would have no option.
In this case, we are distant from the situation, but from what you have observed, had it come to that?
Absolutely not. It would have come to that if the opposing side had weapons and they were firing at the military or the police. They would have had every reason to fire back. But on this occasion, it wasn't so, It's just like gun ownership. One of the first rules is proportional use of force. So if, for instance, you have a gun and someone chases you with a machete and you kill the person, it's justified. But if someone chases you with a whip, Obviously, if you shoot, or someone is trying to steal a car battery and you shoot the person, it's disproportionate. So I think, yes, they were a bit too high-handed on this occasion. And I think they could have managed the situation better because a lot of people in that area are agitated. So the more people get hit, the more agitated people would become. And that could be quite, catastrophic going forward. My fear is it could get widespread. My fear is there could be some retribution on the part of the community, which would present to us a much more cataclysmic situation to deal with.
Okay. Let me say that we're also live in the Ashanti region. Our reporter Abdul Basit Suleiman is just connecting with us from there. Good afternoon to you, Abdul Basit. First, tell us the mood in the community, Ejura, where you are.
Yeah, currently we are at Ejura mini market here to find out from the residents their reactions on what happened yesterday. Actually, the incident that occurred yesterday halted a lot of economic activities over here. As you all know, Ejura Sekyere Dumase is predominantly a farming community in the Ashanti region. About 67% of the indigenes of Ejura Sekyere Dumase are predominantly farmers. Most of them are into maize production. We are here at the market today to find out how yesterday's activity affected their economic activities. Before we go to the market woman, we have the assembly member for this area that we interact with him to find out his reaction on the incident that occurred yesterday. Honorable Assemblyman, good afternoon and welcome to Metro News.
Good afternoon, my boss.
Yeah, what can you tell us? What is your reaction concerning yesterday's incident over here at Ejura Market?
Actually, I'm Ibrahim Zakaria from Impasam electoral area. Yeah, the incident happened when we were all asleep. So we wake up and then we heard of very negative news. So we did what we could. I had a call that incident occurred. So I asked them to move or march to the police station. They've gone to the police station and then, according to them, I wasn't there, that the police did mention of the disease being doing something which is not all that good. They've ever arrested them, so they should go. So they couldn't be able to, trace them to where the incident occurred, neither talk of giving a police response. So they were annoyed and then they rang me back. And by then I was in one of the hospitals, Kasai Hospital. So I asked them for the evidence sake, they should go to the chief palace and then lay the complaint. Actually they went. And then the chief asked them to go to the hospital and then take the actual care of the disease. But then he was actually butchered. So they were there. I was there that they rang me back. I came and then actually they were seriously peeved. As they were annoyed, they were filthy words going rounds, most of suspicion, some audios were coming out, and we cannot be specific with the actual person who did that. Until, as I did mention of them going to the police and then the police, tell them something very annoying. The police couldn't go. It came to a point, they be hearing of some rumors. So they went to the hospital around 5 p.m. So that they were peeved and then they said that they would not ask the police to go there. The time that they needed their attention, the police couldn't come. And then what happened yesterday, if the police had interrogated earlier, things wouldn't have been worse as it was. I quite remember immediately we heard of the death. They marched again to the police and then they marched to the suspects. There was ongoing rumor that is this, that. So they marched to them to where they are working on market days. After they gone there, they spoiled things. Police cars were passing, some of their private vehicles. They damaged it in my presence. I was trying to calm them down. Fortunately, on our side, some of the chiefs interrogated. They came and then they asked us to, control the children for the team to be calm. So we did what we could, and then they again asked us to come to Chief's Palace. We went, and they told us the chief was here day before yesterday. So we should rather extra patient. They will invite the chief, meaning he's on the way coming. So we should go home. Yesterday morning, 8 o'clock, we should come. Actually, we went. The chief advised it. That was a sharp, and after the barrier, what's supposed to be done will be done. So
yeah, we all know Edra to be a farming community, and a lot of economic activity goes on over here. Yesterday's incident halted a lot of activities here. A lot of farmers were not able to bring their wares to the market center. Personally, how did you feel about this?
Actually, I feel very, very negative. Most of the stores were locked. Most of our pregnant women who were willing, they had been shadowed days of they are going to the hospital. When it came, most of them were you know, they feel very, very negative, and then some of them ran. Some even don't know where to even go. So, to be precise with you, this is the first time of sensing this. So it was very, 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 very on call off.
So that's Ashanti Regional Correspondent Abdel Bassett live from Ejura, engaging an assemblyman there. I want to get a quick reaction from Adib concerning what the intelligence that the police could have picked.
Exactly, because we have NIB officers in every single metropolitan, municipal and district assembly in Ghana. Aside that, we have a regional security coordinator, we have the RECSEC, we have the MUSEC. I expected them to have Security Council. Then we have the municipal, Security Council. I expected that they would pick up intelligence because the people were complaining. Some of us who are even not in Ejura and in Accra knew that something was amiss. I mean, especially the fact that the police didn't make any arrests despite incessant calls for them to make arrests. They gave them names. Some of the names were associated with certain bigger names within that enclave.
So you
yet
believe
nobody
the
did
writings
anything.
Were on
the wall.
What's
It was all over.
happen?
Unfortunately, they failed.
The threats were reported to the police.
Yes.
Not much appears to have, or nothing appears to
Absolutely
appear to have been done. And also about the reaction after the death of Mohammed. They could have also anticipated that. And earlier you talked about what appeared as the police not being able to handle it, and that's why the military had to come in. Yeah. These are serious questions for the police to answer, how they were not able to manage all of this. I want to come to you and speak to you about your colleague, Brownson Adachi. What can you tell us about the threats that he said he was receiving, death threats, because of his involvement in the Fix the Country protest?
Okay, so I think we did not get much information about the threat. We had some videos, okay, of the voice messages that they sent to him, and a police warning report, a report by the police warning him to stop a supposed offensive conduct, which we do not know about.
Okay, let's start with the voice. What was in this voice, if you heard it?
No, this voice was actually cautioning him on the things he used to post on social media. Mm-hmm. You know, first of all, some people are questioning the membership of Kaka to Fix the Country. And this is what I want to clear. For you to belong to Fix the Country, it is not a group where you need to sign up as a member. Now, so far as you believe in the ideology, you believe that things need to be fixed. Wherever you are a member of or a campaigner.
Can be a member.
Yes, can be a campaigner or a member of Fix the Country. Okay, so we, having heard the complaints or threats.
What I want you to speak to is what's in the voice.
What's in the voice? Yes, it was. They were actually pointing to the fact that if he does not stop what he's doing, okay, the act of exposing some of the ills in society, if it does not stop, they will do anything possible to stop him because it is making the incumbent government unpopular.
So there was that link to the government?
Yes, something of that sort.
Also, something that you said that I find damning, you said that there was a complaint about him from the police, the second bit.
Yes, we from source, we learned that the people who were threatening him reported him to the police. And then the police issued a warning. And in the warning, they asked him to stop an offensive conduct. That is all. And we don't know what offensive conduct is. I don't know whether there's something as offensive conduct. I'm not a security expert, so I wouldn't be able to talk to that.
Do you have any idea what they'll be referring to?
I mean, that's vague.
That's vague.
That's so generic.
And is that really what we should be getting from the police? If
I'm shocked.
And then I rather get a caution from the police.
I'm shocked. Illegality is illegality. If he was found to have done anything inconsistent with the laws, you bring him in, you investigate, you make him go through the process. But what is it with police asking someone to stop offensive conduct? I mean, it defies logic.
Okay. Forgive me, I should have expressed my condolences at the start. But how does all of this make you feel? First, I think yesterday is when you issued the statements about losing a colleague, and the 10, is it yesterday or Monday? The 10 of events up to today.
Up to today.
How is Fix the Country taking all of this?
You know, this is something we have been campaigning for already. This is not the first time we have had extrajudicial killings in this nation. Okay, this is not the first instance. I think this is only making the limelight because of Fix the Country. Now, there have been several instances of extrajudicial killings in this nation that we have not paid attention to. Are you getting it? So it is as some of these conduct or instances are results of the campaign you are saying today, asking that the nation be fixed. We are saying that Fix the Country, we are not itemizing a particular thing. We are leveraging on the voice of people who has been excluded from democratic processes. So some people may have issues with the extrajudicial killings. Some people may have issues with education or poor infrastructure and other ones. This is what we are doing. So already we know these are the problems we are trying to project. So it only makes it evident that it is true the country needs fixing. And this, it is a depressing news.
As you grieve, maybe let me allow you to finish. Sorry about that.
It is a depressing news, but this has not come to stop us or to stop us from what we're doing.
So as you grieve, you want to keep your eye on the prize, which is Fix the Country campaign or protest. You want that to continue. Very well. Who else? Have you or anybody, any other member or convener received death threats?
No.
You've not received any death threats. So why was he singled out? Any idea?
Okay, so because he is known to be doing that in his community, you know, is doing that within a confined area that is within the Ejura municipality or whatsoever. So he's a well-known figure. Are you getting it? So it is easy to assess him. For us, some of us, we are only on the traditional media. You see us going to court and other things, so people do not know what, or we have not attacked a set institution. Say maybe Medina, what is it? Adenta Municipal. Okay, talking about some of the ills in that community. We have not singled out anything. We are talking about the thing in general. Are you getting it? But he was doing that in his community, so it's easy to get him from that angle. Okay. And we learned this has to do with people within that community.
Somebody squealed, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Very well. Let's get on to Zoom. We have Peter Lanchene Tobu. He's Wa West MP and also a member of the Defense and Interior Committee. Good afternoon to you, Honorable MP. Thanks for joining us. Has this come to the attention of your committee, and what are you doing about it? Sir, can you kindly press the unmute button so that we can hear you?
Hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Great. Good afternoon, Francisca. Let me first of all say good afternoon to our cherished listeners, and then to say hello to my brother Adib and Brownson. I heard Adib saying that anytime you meet, you are meeting on very bad grounds. But the fact is that if you are into this area of security, it is always something that will bring about public interest, that will always be an interesting area for you to meet and discuss. As a member of the Defense and Interior Committee, I am not speaking for that committee. I'm speaking as a former police officer. I'm speaking as somebody with deep knowledge on crowd management, understanding what it takes for the police to deal with situations of this nature. And probably we'll go further to look at why did we, I say fail, why did we fail in ensuring that this particular crowd was professionally managed, to the point that we went to bury somebody and we went to manage the crowd, and finally we ended up killing 2 more people. So what begins is that we had actually worsened the situation. If one person dies and we're trying to manage the situation, and in the process 2 people are killed, that is a clear indication that we have failed as a nation. But I wasn't surprised, because what happened was that when I saw the military arriving at the scene in the videos, the simple question I asked, why is military beginning to take the lead role on matters of internal security, on matters of crowd control? Well endowed when it comes to professionalism in the area of crowd control. We have the Formed Police Unit. We also have the RDF, Rapid Deployment Force. And these people are specialized in the area of crowd control and management. So if I find military officers being the first line of action in matters like this, I ask myself, how did we come this far? Where did we go wrong? And if the police are saying that they invited the military, normally in security structure, when the police are stressed beyond limit, that is when they invite the military to come in. So if the police are telling us that what happened in Nigeria, that situation has stressed the Ghana Police Service beyond limit, I will be surprised and I will be quite disappointed, because that cannot be true. We have Formed Police Unit officers in Somalia as I speak to you. We have some of them in South Sudan as I speak to you. And there are situations that are more violent than what we saw in Nigeria, but they never get military involved. They have the capacity to handle it. It is a specialized area. There is no way out you will find a police officer who is well trained in crowd management, go in the crowd and start pointing his gun at the crowd and shooting direct into the crowd. That will amount to unprofessionalism. Unfortunately, that is where we are. I want to express my condolences to the family of Ibrahim Mohammed, aka Kaka, the young man who decided that it is right to support this call for fixing the country. And I think that everybody, every Ghanaian anywhere, should support this call that we should fix this country. It is a genuine call, and it's a call that all of us must come to support. I also want to express my condolences to the families of Abdul Nasser Yusuf and Mutala Mohammed. In fact, it was a preventable death. They shouldn't have died in that matter. Unfortunately, that is where we are today. It is unfortunate. For you, it's embarrassing.
Very well said.
Yes.
Yes. So for you, as a retired police officer, this is not the first time that the professional standards of police officers is coming into question. If I take my mind back to the Techiman shooting during the election, we saw what police giving warning shots with live ammunition and aiming or what the baton of the gun being lowered and aiming at people, human beings. Does it appear then that the conduct of the police in terms of managing crowds or mobs, what have you, is deteriorating? And if that's the case, how do we turn that around?
Thank you very much. Let me state it as the truth, and I'm stating it blankly for the good of Ghana. There is no professional police officer, there is no professional soldier, worth his or her salt, that will get into a crowd and point the muzzle of his gun at the crowd and shoot. There is no training that brings them up like that. We have gotten to a stage in this country where politics virtually eats up everything. And we recruit people who are not supposed to be in uniform through political colorization and give them uniform to wear to do our bidding for us. So what happened in Techiman, up to date, I think the Commissioner CID organized a press conference today, and I hear him say that they have not been able to identify a single person to be held responsible for shooting. But 2 people died. And the videos are everywhere. And the people who are wearing the uniform, purported to be soldiers, is everywhere for everybody to see. But as we speak, not a single soul has been identified by the Ghana Police Service to be held accountable for that crime. In the same way, you saw what happened in Nigeria, and I think that the videos are very live. There were people in there covering the event live. The Commissioner CID says those videos will have to be interrogated, even though he's not departing from the fact that it could be very true, but he's trying to paint a picture as if what happened could be some doctored videos. Unfortunately,
what rather should the police be doing? What rather should the police be doing in moving forward?
The reality is that the police is not about police, what they should be doing. What should the state be doing? The state's responsibility is to equip the police. The state responsibility is to depoliticize policing. The state responsibility to ensure that professional policing is used in the internal security environment. If we don't do that all the time, what we see, and the fact that the police cannot come and tell you that they've been challenged politically. The truth of the matter is that if you challenge the Ghana Police Service and give them the space to be able to act, form police unit, rapid deployment force, deploy them to the area, and have that set of security structure, with the military being the last resort. Anytime you see the military in an internal security environment, what it means is that the police are stressed beyond limit. But we cannot be stressed beyond limit for a pure crowd that is just becoming violent. We cannot say we were stressed beyond limit. Okay. It is just the truth of the matter.
At this point,
that we politicize everything in this country, and people who are in uniform are really not the people we expect to be in uniform. And these are some of the outcomes that we experience as a country.
You make a point about the politicization of the police as an institution, and we heard from the Ashanti region, the police say that crime is crime and has no political coloring. When we see the situation and we hear this narrative, are we able to put the two together?
Crime is crime and has no political color, a statement of fact. But we have police officers who are not behaving as professional police officers. They are behaving as if they are politicians given the police uniform to do the bidding of their paymasters. That is exactly the point I'm making. As for crime, I don't really care if the young man who died is an MPP sympathizer. He voted for Nana Akufo-Addo. He campaigned for Nana Akufo-Addo.
I cannot substantiate those remarks that you're making, Honorable.
That he's an MPP sympathizer.
Well, I cannot substantiate that.
I am telling you, in Ejura, it's a popular thing. There's nothing wrong about that. We all have parties. And during the election 2016...
Very well. I just don't want to veer into that because my production has not established that. And that's really not the focus of my conversation. But kindly hold on. I want us to take a quick break and then we can continue with the conversation. The Honorable MP raises a fair point about politicizing, you know, the police service as a state institution. I don't want us to get into the political colorization of the individual. But please, gentlemen, hold your horses. Let's take a quick break and then we'll come back and continue the conversation.
I feel at home whenever I'm in front of the camera. It reminds me of the time when I was a little boy. I used to entertain my family.
After all, it's our story. For the best of your original dramas, telenovelas, and sports, get your GoTV decoder, GoTenna, and a month of GoTV Plus for as little as 109 cedis. Download my GoTV app to easily manage your account on the go. GoTV. Love it.
Ghana is a beautiful country. There is so much of it you probably haven't seen, haven't experienced, haven't touched, haven't felt, haven't eaten. When this is all over, let's discover our land again with new eyes. Let's feel each other again. We are one people, brought together by destiny. Let's make that count. Let's show love for each other and our environment. Let's tell our stories. And let's watch and listen to our stories. There will be so much to tell. Ghana is a truly beautiful country. Be Ghana, stay in Ghana, experience Ghana, make Ghana great. And we will invite the world to come and experience Ghana too. But for now, stay home. Brought to you by the National Film Authority. Supports the Stay Home and Discover Ghana Later campaign. This channel supports the campaign.
God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Welcome back to Good Afternoon, Ghana. Let's get on the phone line right now and speak to Kweku Segbefia. He's a member of Occupy Ghana. Good afternoon to you and thanks for joining us, Mr. Segbefia. What we understand, or a key thing that Occupy Ghana is talking about is the call for a bill to regulate the military's involvement in matters concerning interior security. What do you want?
So a lot of the problems we face when it comes to issues such as we saw at Ejura is the militarization of peacekeeping efforts within the country. Every time you bring in the military, you are sure that innocent civilians, unarmed civilians will lose their lives. This is because soldiers and the military are built for war. They are not built, so I mean, it's like giving a hammer to a person. Every single problem they see is nothing but a nail. And so we feel that is problematic. First off, this gentleman dies or is murdered. And then before the police can even come up with answers, they team up with the military to then fight at unarmed civilians who are demonstrating against the killing of an innocent person. That's not how to de-escalate a situation. And once you bring in the military in these kinds of instances, things get overboard because for them, they are looking everything or every threat is a target, an enemy that must be eliminated using the best firepower available to them. And this
Very
really
well.
is the...
Very well. Point well made. I'm afraid we'll leave it here, but we're grateful to you, Kweku Segbefia, a member of Occupy Ghana. We'll connect with you subsequently on our news bulletins for further discussions. I want to now bring in Adib Sani, the security analyst. I want to talk about two key things for me from John Mahama's response or statement on the matter is the investigation of the killing itself and also the security rules of engagement. I'll let you touch on that, but what I want to, let me just put everything together. What I want you to really explain for us is this public inquiry that the president is instructing the interior minister to undertake. So maybe quickly, John Mahama, and then
Francisca, I have serious reservations about public inquiries due to certain historical antecedents. I mean, we're all in this country when a group of ragtag militia-looking so-called national security operatives caused a mess at Ayawaso West Wuogon. It was on live TV. We watched it. And in the end, a report was developed. And almost everything was brushed off as if it didn't really matter. So I thought that it was a complete waste of our time and resources. But I'm hoping that this time around, there will be more commitment to dealing with the fundamental issues. I mean, it should go beyond just a public, inquiry. We need commitment, especially on the part of the politicians, on the part of the police, and on the part of the citizenry. So we are able to deal with these issues once and for all. And mind you, one of the reasons for what we are experiencing today is the mistrust, the lack of confidence in the ability of especially the police to investigate comprehensively and ensure there is justice.
I want to bring up PIPS. Where is PIPS now?
I mean, we're in this country when journalists were attacked. How many officers were held to account as a result? At the height of the elections, some were killed. As a matter of fact, one of them is a friend who came for my last son's outdooring. He was shot at Ablikuma.
So we need accountability on the part of the police and the what I call PIPS, the Police Intelligence and Professional Standards Bureau. We don't seem to be hearing anything from them on the the history of it. Brownston, I'll come to you. This is a statement from the president. He's asking the interior minister to conduct a public inquiry into this. He's expressed his concerns, even though it's a good thing. Is this adequate for Fix the Country? From the government, is it an adequate response?
I think, let me tackle it this way. Let me give you some statistics here.
But you have to be brief.
Yes. April 2020, a soldier murdered an innocent guy in Ashaiman. What has been done so far? June 2020, they murdered an innocent man at Drapon. What has been done? December, the murder of the 6 people in Tachiman. This January, the military invaded Parliament. What has been done? You see, these questions, we are not supposed to be okay with this kind of press release to appear clean to the public or to appear to have...
What will be adequate in 20 seconds?
The right thing should be done.
Okay.
That's all. Who deployed the military? These are questions we should be asking. who deployed the military into an innocent or unarmed civilians? You know, all these questions will tell you when the president or other people are able to ask these questions, they will get to the root of the matter, not telling people to go and do inquiries.
Okay, we'll leave it here. Gentlemen, this is where we draw the curtains. I'll wrap up with a quick WhatsApp message from Sefi. So this is from Hakim in West North Region, Sefi Debiso. He says, it's really sad. I blame our leadership because all our military forces are being employed by protocols and with political means, so they don't even go through any training. How can a military man point his gun to the crowd and he's telling us he's given a warning shot? Hashtag fix the country. On this note, we draw the curtains on the show, but we're grateful to all our guests for coming in studio and connecting with us via Zoom, and also our regional reporter. My name is Francisca Kakra-Forson. Thank you and bye-bye.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.